My favorite part of the entire Avengers Infinity War movie, the Hulk fell down and she's like,
yes. The judgment on her face
it's so
was
funny.
Incredible.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to DinnerViews. I'm Matthew Francis, and this is a show where basically I make a dream dinner for my friends here in Hollywood, and then I interview them about their life, their career, and what their views are on the world. Today I have, get up here,
Hello.
Kevin Nguyen.
It's me.
And your Instagram is Kevin J. Nguyen.
Yes, underscore.
Underscore at the end, and then for Twitter there's no underscore.
There is no underscore on Twitter. There is one on Instagram.
What's nice is if you go to YouTube, it'll be on the screen so you can just read it and then type it in.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to give you all the food because you liked nice, simple, good food, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. When you asked me, I was just like, oh man, what am I craving all the time? I'm just like, I love a good steak and fries. I love that so much.
Great. So before we get into actual food, I kind of make everyone work for the food. All right.
Okay,
so we have some questions and games and segments first. First, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, give us an abridged life story of Kevin.
Ooh, life story.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Kevin J. Nguyen. I was born in California, and then I moved around a lot throughout the U.S. And then most recently, I lived in Florida, and then I moved here for the past 4 years.
Okay.
And I have always wanted to, do really impactful work, especially in storytelling in the digital space. And so I worked with Jubilee Media, and then I ended up at BuzzFeed, which is where I met you.
Yep.
At BuzzFeed, I was a producer, a supervising producer, and I managed teams, led initiatives, and whatnot. And I love digital, I love making videos, and I love social impact.
Yeah. Kevin's videos have always been the really beautiful, visually stunning ones, and the ones that really talk about have important impact, which is great. And when I was an intern and fellow, I think you were leading classes.
I was teaching. I think I taught you a few classes.
Yeah, thumbnail, Photoshop and stuff. Yeah. Great. So the first thing we're gonna do is a segment that I call fast food favorites.
Ooh, I love that.
And not fast food as in fast food restaurants, but fast, the game is fast.
Okay.
So essentially, I kind of feel like everybody can really get to know a person by their favorite foods or their food preferences, right?
Okay.
So here's a list of food items, and you're gonna reach into this pot and grab them, and then as quick as you can, list off your favorite flavors of that item, right?
Okay.
And
if
then,
it gets weird, I'm sorry.
No, that's the way, because then you're learning your true self, right?
Oh, yep.
And what's fun about this is everyone competes, so everyone has a certain amount. The high score is Jaleesa with 24.
I'm not surprised.
But maybe you can beat her tonight.
Wait, so I just list a bunch of flavors?
So if you if you grab burrito filling, you tell me your favorite burrito filling, move on.
Okay.
Got it? Okay.
Oh,
here we go.
I don't even know that one.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, wait, that's my bad. I have a timer. You have a second to collect yourself.
So nervous.
Don't worry. I was watching Ellen. 1 second.
Who wasn't though?
Okay. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Ice cream. Ooh, chocolate. Seafood. Ooh, salmon. Sushi. Shrimp tempura. Vegetable. Right now, asparagus. Fruits. Lychee. Burrito filling. Beef. Bagel. Just a simple bagel is good with me. Bread. White bread. Dairy item, ice cream. Love ice cream. Chip flavor, sour cream and onion.
Okay.
Sandwich. Ooh. Meatball sub.
Yes.
Rice. Oh, white rice. Duh. Pasta sauce, Alfredo. Grain. I don't know grains. Regular grain? Chocolate bar. Oh.
You can do it. That one counts.
Hershey's.
Hershey's. Nice. Okay. I have some thoughts and things I want to comment after, but let's count them up. How many did you get?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You did pretty good.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. 15.
15. Nice.
I lost to Nikki.
Yeah. Nikki got 16.
I got grains. I'm like really bad. I think
like white rice is a grain.
that's what I was thinking. I was just like, I was stumped.
That's all right. And I've noticed like you like a lot of like white creamy stuff, or like so like there was like ice cream, Alfredo, stuff like that. So cool.
It's also like the first thing that would come to my mind too.
Yeah.
I love all of that. I'm a big fan of like creamy like things that are not good for you.
Right.
So Alfredo, I grew up loving Alfredo. I think recently I started getting into what is that like? It's like that tomato bolognese sauce.
Okay. Yeah. Bolognese.
Right. That's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been eating that a lot whenever I order pasta out. So yeah.
Yeah. That's like a different type of cream where it's like a meaty creamy. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Well, and I think you're gonna be really excited for some of the food because I made like a creamy sauce for the fries.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. The next thing is I'm gonna ask some questions that people sent in. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, like I kind of took like an amalgamation of a lot of them because some of them were repeated or whatever.
Yeah. That happens.
But the first one is, and we kind of touched on this a little bit, but what's like your favorite video or your favorite project you've ever done?
Oh man. It's hard because, I mean, we've like made so many videos during our time at BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
And like to pick like one is really hard, but I think, I have a few. I think I think probably the one that I didn't think would blow up as much as it did was my, the best things about being Vietnamese.
Oh.
I did that video because I realized we didn't have a lot of Vietnamese content at BuzzFeed, and I was just like, I want a video where it's just kind of like unapologetically Vietnamese, and like I don't care like if you know what I'm talking about or not, I'm just gonna do it. And like it blew up on Facebook, and like it was a big hit on like for the Vietnamese community, and like if I ever am out in public and there's a Vietnamese person, they'll be like, "You're the guy from that video." I'm just like, I am, so I think I feel really good about that one because of like just the representation for the community.
Definitely. And anything that didn't do as well on YouTube, it just like did really well on Facebook, or?
Yeah, it was just like a scripted video, so like it's not gonna hit as hard on YouTube, but on Facebook it has like higher chances of like really spreading.
Nice.
Yeah.
The next one, a lot of your people you said are like really interested in like your dating life, and they really were. They're like, how are you still single, and do you use dating apps? So like maybe we just like talk about like how weird dating is in LA.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't. My followers, they just like are constantly trying to like know what I'm up to and like my dating life. And I'll say that yes, I am single, and yes, I'm on dating apps, and like dating in LA sucks.
Yeah.
Like it's like both nice and kind of terrible because there's so many people, right? And there's like a lot of great people in LA, but at the same time, because there's so many people, then a part of you, and I'm guilty of this, a part of you thinks like, oh, like, that there was that tiny thing that like wasn't amazing, swipe left, I'm on to the next person. And so I don't know. I've been single for a while because I think I'm in LA, but I don't know. I feel like if I was back in Florida and I was like actively dating, I probably would have been married by now.
Yeah, like I feel like in smaller towns, it's like, well, there's one other gay person.
Yeah, right?
Right? Whereas like here, you're kind of allowed to be more selective, but that's also like damaging yourself. It's hard.
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of a win-win and lose-lose at the same time. You just are perpetually single until you find like the right person.
Yeah. So if you're cute and you're nice, message Kevin and then try and date him.
If you want.
Okay, and then I know you've talked about like the importance of faith for you in some videos, so people actually like mention that. So like, why is your faith important to you, and what are you talking about that?
Yeah, so I like grew up in a very like Catholic household. Same. And I was like baptized and everything. I actually went to like Catholic school up until I was in high school. And so I was doing that whole thing. And so faith has always played like an important part of my life. It was like a moment in my life where, you know, like I was like coming to terms with who I was, and I realized like, oh, like I don't think it's like in Catholicism it's not okay to be gay and like all these things. And so I was wrestling with like my identity with also being like Catholic. And then I realized, you know, there were a lot of like Catholics that I was surrounded by, and not saying like everybody's like this, but those who were around me, they were really like a negative like force in my life, and I just didn't appreciate that. And so I like kind of went away from faith for a little bit, and under some like circumstances I somehow like stumbled upon like a really great group of friends who just happened to be Christian. And so they never like pushed anything on me, but like I lived with them, and every Sunday they all like went to church, and I'd be like FOMO, I'm like I want to hang out, you know, because then afterwards they get lunch and they get good food and whatnot. I'm like, I love that. And so I like tagged along for the ride, and I realized like Christianity was like a little bit different from Catholicism, and the one that I am a part of, I could prescribe to, and like it's very like liberal and progressive and positive, right? And like where I go specifically, it's like very like creative, and it's all about the arts and all that. I'm like, oh, I love this. And so I found my way back into faith, and so I'm like a Christian, and like I actually got baptized like 2 years ago. Yeah, like baptized as an adult. And I think it's like, I think it sometimes is like weird because it's just like, oh, I'm like gay and a Christian, but like how do you coincide with that? And I think it's a lot of like having to navigate those conversations. But you know, I think the biggest thing is like sometimes I don't agree with like God's followers, but I agree with God, you know?
I like that. Yeah. My dad's actually a deacon.
Oh.
I grew up Catholic, and same kind of thing where I was like, these people are driving me nuts. I don't know if I can handle it here. And I haven't, like, let's say, come back to it yet, but like it's nice to meet people like you, because I have other like gay friends that are also Christian, and it's like, it's cool to be like, you know what, like they are welcome back. And you can see that like a lot of religion is changing, hopefully for the better. There's still some few duds out there.
I mean,
but yeah, overall it's like, it's nice to see that, and who knows, I might come back one day. But
yeah, and you know, like it's your own journey. I'm not going out like telling people like you must believe in something. It's like, you know, live your life, be a good human being, and that's it. For me, it's just been able to like center myself, and just like honestly for me it just like gives me hope, you know, the sense of hope and optimism, because before I was such a Debbie Downer and always like negative, but like, you know, having faith in my life allowed me to like believe that there's like something more. And so just be positive and optimistic, you know.
It makes you feel less like alone, which is good.
And you know, I hate being alone.
So and then the last one is what is like the biggest thing you geek out about?
Okay.
So maybe we'll go in depth with like certain movies or shows later on, but like if you had to choose one thing you geek out about most, what would it be?
Oh geez. I mean, it is kind of like like movies. Like I geek out hardcore on like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
Like I am so obsessed with it. Oh my gosh, I follow a lot of like fan accounts.
Okay.
And like in just like theories, and I read up on these theories. I'm like, what's gonna happen for Avengers Endgame, you know, that's coming out. And like I actually got tickets for it opening night, and I have really good seats. And yeah, I grew up always loving superheroes. Like I love like the idea of like having superpowers and like crime fighters and whatnot, and like all that stuff. And so, you know, it just allows you to like have a bigger imagination. And with how like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing it, like I just think they're just doing it right, you know? Like every movie builds upon something. Like nothing is a mistake. It's so intentional. Like the stories are interwoven, and like whenever they come together as like the Avengers movies, it's just like, wow, like you all have been thinking about this for like a decade now, you know? And like that's just like such good storytelling in my opinion.
And also it's almost so your namesake Kevin Feige, he was like in charge of everything. Fellow Kevin, like I think the reason it works so well is because they have like him in charge, like leading it all, and like he like was a big comics book nerd, and he really loved them as a kid. So like he was like, we're gonna do it right, and like everyone kind of has to follow under him. And I think since they have such a great captain, it works well.
Yeah.
And then obviously everyone cares so much. But cool. Yeah, I love Marvel too. I'm like so excited.
Wait, who's like your favorite Marvel superhero right now?
Okay, character, I don't know about superhero, but Okoye is my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
Bar none.
I freaking love her.
Like, my favorite part of the entire Avengers Infinity War movie, like, it was all great, but that one part where, like, the Hulk, like, fell down, and she's like... Like, I was like that. I like hysterically laughed in this theater. No one else did, just me.
The judgment on her face
it's so
was
funny.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So subtle, but so great.
Yeah, so she's my favorite character. And then of like the actual lineup, I don't know. I like all the female ones. I like Black Widow a lot too.
Oh yeah. She kicks ass.
Who's yours?
Oh my gosh. So Okoye definitely is amongst them. Like I have a bunch, but I think my favorites are Spider-Man.
Oh.
I love Spider-Man. And also Tom Holland's so good as Spider-Man.
He's really cute too.
I know. He's just, I think he's just so like funny and adorable and just so innocent. There's something great about like the innocence of like a superhero. And then also like Black Panther. Like
so good.
And like Shuri, oh my gosh, I freaking love her.
Yeah.
She's so great. I was devastated to find out, spoilers, not really, but like she didn't make it like after the snap. Like what the heck?
I know.
You know?
I wanted her to help solve the issue.
I know. I do really love Captain America.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would, but like after watching all his movies, I was just like, wait, I really like you. And also Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Did you watch we should definitely go more into this later on after we have the food, but did you watch the Peggy Carter series?
No.
So like Agent Carter, who was like in the first movie with him, she had her own series, and she's awesome.
Oh, really?
I'm obsessed with her too.
That was only for 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, but it's worth it. Watch it. It's really good.
Okay, the only Marvel TV shows I watch is Runaways.
Okay, I haven't seen. I watched a little bit of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then I loved Agent Carter.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah. I love Runaways though. Okay. It's so good. It's based out here in LA.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now that we've asked some questions, it's time to. The next segment is called Dream Dish.
Okay.
So I actually serve you the food, okay? Finally.
So hungry.
And while I go get it ready and bring it out, think about something, because while I'm dishing the food for you, you have to dish something for us. So think of either like some kind of secret thing that no one knows about you want to like reveal.
Okay.
Or something like that. But I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, sure. Yeah. Excited. Ooh, yes. I love French fries.
And that's a garlic aioli, sriracha ketchup.
You're saying all the things I love.
How hungry are you? You want a huge steak or a normal size steak?
I'm pretty hungry.
Okay, great. Bring a big one.
Yes. Matt, the hospitality. Oh my gosh. Wow.
There you go.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Wait, can I take a picture of this?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, so so this is me dishing the food for you.
Yes.
How does it all look?
It looks incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You put the fries down first, and I had to put so much self-control not to just like go for it.
Most people just eat it, so you're welcome to just snack whenever you want.
Okay, great.
Okay, so like let me just give a little bit of an explainer of everything we have here.
Okay.
Because so people who are listening can't always see the food, but I put photos on Instagram right when the show goes live. It goes up on Instagram, and then eventually the goal is to have all the food on YouTube so people can actually watch how it's being prepared. But for Kevin, we have a nice, huge, like 6 to 8 ounce ribeye steak, seared. I got like nice grill marks on there, and then we have like a rainbow veggie kebab with yellow bell pepper, mushroom, red onion, zucchini, red bell pepper. And then we have some fresh fried garlic fries. So how I do that is basically there's like oil and I'm frying it, but I also like throw in some garlic cloves. And so like perfumes the whole thing. Ooh. And then I take the fried cloves and I made a fresh aioli out of it.
Oh, nice.
An aioli is like a fresh mayonnaise, and it has to have garlic. So you basically puree garlic, egg yolk, Dijon mustard, lemon juice or vinegar, salt, and then you like stream in oil while it's blending, and you get that.
Oh, I love aioli.
And then we have a sriracha ketchup, so you have like options for dipping.
Wow.
Yeah, so dig in.
Oh, thank you. Can I get a napkin?
Yes, you can. That's why they're here.
Thank you. I just bought these pants, and like they're really light wash jeans.
Yeah.
And I've actually been eyeing this pair for like years now, and
wow.
I finally got it. It's my splurge.
Where from?
It's from Top Man, and they just like make really good jeans. But this is I think my second day wearing it out.
Oh shoot.
And so like I really don't want it to stay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to protect my legs.
Do it.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you have to try everything, and then we'll get into like actually talking. But enjoy the food now.
Wow. I love ribeye.
Right? It's the best one.
Yeah. This is so good.
Nice.
And it's like nice and like red inside. I like that. I like when I was a kid, I would eat steak like for some reason like more well done.
Yeah.
And
a lot of moms do it that way.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, it's like so dry. I don't like steak.
Yeah.
And then I like grew up, and then I tried like a medium rare steak. I was like, wait a second, what is this? It's so good.
I'm gonna go for a fry.
Yeah, I am too. Wow, it's so crunchy, and I haven't even eaten it yet.
I'm glad they are, because I had to refry them because we were doing the interview before, and I was like, I hope they don't like burn or get weird tasting. So they're crispy still.
It's great. Wow, it's so good.
Yeah.
I can never get my fries to be this crisp.
Oh,
I don't know why. I'm also like not the best cook, but I make it work.
Really, it's just like this lighting. You kind of keep going until you're like, is that too much? Okay, take them out, and then they're usually good.
What type of potato is this?
Russet.
Okay.
What do you usually use?
I don't remember.
Oh, like the normal one is.
Yeah, I haven't attempted this in like over a decade. I'm scarred.
Yeah, I would say the biggest tricks are, like while I'm chopping the potatoes, I always cut them and then I soak them in water so they don't turn brown.
Yeah.
And then after that, you like dry them off and make sure they're really dry before they go in the oil, so you don't like explode your house.
Right.
And then just like you go for a long time. There's like many methods. People like sometimes like double fry them, or they'll like boil it first and then fry. There's like many things, but honestly, as long as you just go until they're dark brown, you're fine.
Yeah.
I think people are afraid to go dark brown. But no, that's how like if you're not, the only place that can really get them nice and not just brown but still be crispy is like the commercial ones that you like, Ore-Ida or like McDonald's. But like if you're like homemade, you kind of have to go that crispy.
Yeah, I'm into it. And then with this, you just like
eat
it like that. Okay, cool.
You can dip it. You can take some steak and eat it with the veggies.
Yeah. Wow, I'm glad you have the veggies because it's going to be very unhealthy tonight.
Yeah. Okay, but keep eating. Where the whole point is to kind of be munching the whole time. So like, there's don't feel weird about being like polite, because I think people like the sounds.
Yeah.
What dish for us, like something that you don't have to like have like some deep dark secret, but just like something that people may not know about you that you can like have be an exclusive for this time together.
I don't know how exclusive this is. Oh, should we hold for that?
Yeah, we might as well, but like honestly, we're in Hollywood. It's always gonna be like that.
Like I don't know how exclusive this is, but whenever I do share this, so whenever anybody asks me like, what's a fun fact about me, and I say this, and then they're just like, wait, what? I'm like, I've told you all this like numerous times.
Oh shit. Wow.
But my thing is that I'm actually a black belt. See, everybody like reacts.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like,
wow.
I got it when I was like young. I was like 15 at the time.
Okay.
And so I haven't done martial arts since, and so it's been like well over like a decade. So.
Could you like still whip it out though, and like do it right away, or do you have to like
Probably.
practice? That's pretty cool.
No, I definitely need to practice.
Okay.
But let's say like, knock on wood, nobody does this. But if someone like tries to attack me, then I would know at least like the basis for it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it was just like muscle memory.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm jealous because as a kid I always wanted to take karate, and I told my parents multiple times I wanted to do karate
or
some
really?
kind of martial arts, and they were like, no, we don't think so. So it never happened.
Aw.
But that's really cool. Maybe I can like live vicariously through your memories or something.
Yeah. Wait, did you like do sports instead? Did your parents put you in sports?
Yeah, I was. So I did basketball, softball,
Whoa.
soccer.
Okay.
But I was all like really young, and then I
Yeah.
was like in high school. I was like, I played softball all through K through 12, and then I still do it for BuzzFeed's team.
Oh, cool.
But I played those when I was young, and then I was on like speech team, and I did a lot of like, more like clubs in high school than like sports. But,
Same.
yeah, but I always wanted to, like, because I loved like Power Rangers growing up.
Yeah,
so
me
I was
too.
I was like, I want to be able to kick butt.
I freaking love Power Rangers. Yeah,
Good show.
that was like my jam growing up. But yeah, that's my dish.
Awesome. So then we'll just kind of go into like the normal dinner view.
Okay.
Like just all the other stuff that I want to like know about your life. And by the way, if it is too rare for you, let me know. I can cook it more. If you want like a more done piece, mine's smaller. But whatever you like, if it's too rare for you, let me know.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think I should be fine now.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, Kevin.
Yes.
Obviously, you're very talented as like a director and producer, and we've talked already about like your really great videos and stuff. But like, what first sparked your interest in like film and stuff? Because everyone has a story usually, I think.
Yeah.
So what's your story of what inspired you?
Yeah. Don't mind me doing this.
Oh, that's fine.
My thing was, it was actually, I never knew how into I was growing up actually.
Okay.
Like in high school, you know, like they would give you like these projects and stuff, and teachers would be like creative and just be like, choose like to do a book cover for this, or like make a video and stuff. And I always opted to make videos. And like I noticed that I would spend hours editing, and I like loved it. And like I just love creating something. But it never registered like, oh, I like making stuff, you know? And then I was always a big fan of YouTube too, like growing up. Like I watch YouTube all the time. But I never thought it'd be like a thing that I would do. And so in college, I actually went into college as an architecture major.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so because I was always creative, but I wanted like some idea of like stability. My parents, you know, my parents are Asian immigrant parents, and they always wanted me to be like a doctor or like, you know, an engineer or what have you. And I just could not do any of that stuff. And then, and so I tried to meet them in the middle. I was like, architecture. And my first semester, my freshman year, I was like so lost. I like didn't know what I was doing. I was miserable.
Right.
And then I actually changed my major way too many times.
Oh, so like what? Give us like the pantheon of
Oh my gosh. Okay.
A to B.
Okay, so no, there's so many. Architecture, then civil engineering, and then pharmacy, and then accounting, and then business finance.
Wow. And
Yeah.
then finally film?
And then finally I went into production. And that was only because my grades were slipping and everything sucked, and like I didn't know if I belonged here and stuff. But I got really involved in like the Asian American student community. And so a great opportunity that I was like given was to go to like an Asian American leadership conference. And so I went, and having no like expectations for anything. And I went, and one of the workshops I went into was like a YouTube workshop, and I was just like, I love YouTube. And it was led by Jubilee Media, and like they showed like a couple of their short films, and I was just so moved by the things that they were doing. They were like adults, they were Asian American, and like they were doing it, right? And I was just like, wait, if they can do it, what's stopping me from doing it? And so they inspired me to like pursue this.
Cool.
And become like a storyteller and like all these things. And then I went back to school, and then I changed my major to production.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then it's cool that they inspired you and they got to work there. Did you work there right after college? Wow, how cool.
Yeah, so I actually worked with them throughout college. Not like as a full-time employee or anything, but there would be like, I got an internship with them. I had like a fellowship program that I was a part of that I applied to and got in from them. And so ever since I kind of like met them, kind of started my career with them, and then I moved out here, and then I worked for them for a period of time, and then I found my way at BuzzFeed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, I needed a water break. So now let's talk more about like representation in media, because I'm really passionate about that. I know you're really passionate about that. When we did our Vietnamese video together for Tasty, like that was a big part of like the voiceover and everything. But like, so for someone who maybe doesn't understand, like we're not having any issues right now, there's no room to grow. What would you say to someone like that, where you think like, how would you explain the change we need?
Man, it's so much there, right? Because I just feel like with the day and age that we're in right now, digital is so big, right?
Huge.
Like the internet, like this generation really is heavily impacted by the internet, more so than any other generation. Like I feel like our generation was like the start of it, but this, like, I see kids at like the age of 4 having like iPads, you know?
Yeah, scary.
And like they know what they're doing on it. And so it's just like access to media is so easy now. It's both a blessing and a curse, because with all of that being so accessible, it also means that there is so much harm and bad that could also spread.
A lot of brainwashing that can easily happen,
Easily, like these like terrible campaigns or like fake news and just like things that just aren't true. And you know, back in the day, like it was always a problem. This was always a problem, the lack of representation in media, in like entertainment. But now with like so many people having access to this, folks who like, you know, in the Midwest who would never meet like a person who looked like me, right? And like maybe they've met 1 or 2 people who were Asian, but I have no understanding of it. Maybe they watched like a couple like movies and they're just like, oh yeah, that's it. But now they have more access.
Definitely.
And so like because of that more access, who is in charge of giving that representation where it's due, right? And so if we allow our stories to be told by folks who just don't understand our stories, who gloss over the nuances of who we are and our identity, then that in a lot of ways will snowball and become an avalanche to something much bigger and like very harmful. And you know, a lot of these folks who are consuming this media who don't know any better, it's not, you know, out of maliciousness either. Sometimes it's just purely ignorance. And then they act out in malicious ways out of fear. Right? It's never like I don't want to say never, but like there are people who just like act out of fear, but then there are others who act out purely out of maliciousness. And for us, we need to be at the forefront of like shaping these stories, because it's our own stories, and we need to like push culture forward in that sense.
And also like if they're getting in like a lot of like images, stories that aren't true because they're written by someone that isn't from that experience, it also can just like fully remove them even more. So like they're gonna not, like next time they see a movie that may star an Asian person or a gay person or whatever, they're like, I'm not even gonna go watch it. It's like turning them off even more. Whereas like which is horrible, and it's like, so it's not only just like not contributing to what we hope can like offer more stories in the future, it's like detracting, which is like so scary to me. And then but what is good is, I think when you do have people who are like, so if I write like a gay story about like my personal life, like that's not gonna be something that anyone else can really do, right? Same for you. And then what's cool about that is then like if you can convince like the one person, or the one who maybe if you go at it in a really natural, like realistic, relatable way, then that's when you see one character to really empathize with, and then that like, you know, Midwestern mom, you're like, oh, you know what? And then like the whole of information like opens up, and they're like, oh, I want to learn this, I want to learn that, and that's what I think is like hopefully what we're kind of on the cusp of now.
I think like we're in an interesting time. I think like we're scratching the surface of it, because there's so much to be done, and like, you know, the goal too is just to normalize our identities, that like, you know, like we too can like be in like a rom-com and it do well. Like,
Wow.
you know, like with these identities used to be like pigeonholed into certain roles and stories that were very stereotypical, but like there's so much more to that. Like some people's stories are that, yeah, but like not everybody's stories like that. And I think like the more we're able to tell unique individual stories within these communities, the more people will understand like, oh my gosh, like you're so much more multifaceted than I thought you were. And that's what I'm hoping like the Midwestern mom can like understand, you know?
Exactly.
Nothing against Midwestern moms.
I have a Midwestern mom, and she can learn more. I would say that.
Just like every area where like you're not exposed to a lot of different types of people.
Yeah.
You know?
Who would you say, or like what certain shows, movies right now are you thinking are like nailing it, and you want more from that director or more from that showrunner, or like what's like your favorite things now that are like pushing the needle?
Oh my gosh,
There's so many, right? But I
there's
just want to
so
get yours.
many.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, you know,
Ow.
like I mentioned it earlier, but like Marvel is great, right?
Yeah.
And I think like Marvel hasn't always been the best at this.
No.
Admittedly.
A lot of locker room talk and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, you know, if you look at like the first two phases, it was predominantly like white men.
Yeah.
But now, you know, Kevin Feige and like the entire studio, they're realizing like, wait a second, like we need to shift, we need to like progress and grow, and like, you know, with Black Panther doing so well, and like in development that there's like an Asian American superhero coming soon, the Black Widow movie, Captain Marvel, like it took a decade for Captain Marvel to come out, you know, but like thank God, right? So them for sure. And then like a TV show that I am obsessed with right now is Pen 15.
People have been telling me I need to watch that, and it looks really funny. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But.
It is so funny. The writing and directing is wonderful, and like the two main actresses, they're playing themselves, right?
Okay.
As like 12-year-olds, and it's like so hilarious, and like they really unearth that like cringiness of being a middle schooler, just like trying to navigate your way. And I think it's just wonderful because it captures like the innocence of that time, and also like how hard it is, right? And like whereas, you know, and there's no shade against this, but like we have a lot of Riverdales, right?
Yeah,
or like,
too many.
Yeah, and even like, you know, back in the day, Glee,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, like very like hypersexualized, like teenagers and whatnot. Yeah. But like Pen 15 doesn't go there. They're in middle school and they're like just figuring it out, you know?
Love that.
And one of the leads is like a Japanese American woman, and like she like talks about like her identity and being like Asian as a middle schooler and whatnot, but it's like so subtle, but also it's so nuanced, right? Like I love that like she and her family gets to speak like random lines of just Japanese because they're talking to each other, and it's like normal.
No subtitles. Right?
No subtitles.
I love that.
It's just normal. It's just how it is, and it's just like, yes, that I'm so familiar with that because that's how I grew up in my household. Yeah.
Cool.
Those are the things. Check it out for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the ad that always pops up for that show is like the one girl who I assume you were talking about with like the drums. Like, that always pops up. I'm like,
oh my
just
gosh.
That is like a good seller.
Iconic scene. You need to watch it.
Okay.
It's so good.
What are your goals long term? Like I know, of course, you want to direct and produce, but like, is there specific dreams that you think that maybe you haven't told people? Because I'm a big proponent of like vocalizing dreams and getting it out into the world.
Manifesting.
Oh, I think it's so true. So like,
tell
me everything that Kevin should be in 30 years or something.
Jeez. 30 years.
I mean, whatever number, but.
Yeah. Well, aside from like the typical stuff, like I'd hope to be married and have kids by then and have a family and all that stuff.
Nice.
But career-wise, honestly, like I get asked this a lot, and I would say like for me, it's not necessarily that I want to be famous or like I want to. It isn't quantitative what I want. What it is that my mission is, as long as I'm like somehow empowering people of marginalized communities to feel like they are heard and feel like they have a platform and just feel like empowered and safe and just like wonderfully themselves, like that's what matters to me.
Yeah.
And like that's why I'm currently in the position I'm in, because I want to create content where people can feel represented, to feel like, oh my gosh, that's me.
Yeah.
But I don't have to be doing that for the rest of my life. Like,
Yeah.
I see my career being like very fluid, as long as I have like I am paying attention to like what my mission is.
Right.
And honestly, this is so left field, but I've told some people this, but I actually, one day when I retire, I want to open up an ice cream shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love
that.
ice cream. I love ice cream so much. And I just feel like ice cream, like you can't eat ice cream and be upset, right?
No,
like
you can't.
you eat it and you're just like, it feels good. You know, there's a reason why, like in like when people like break up and they're just like, do you want a pint of ice cream and stuff, you know, like it just makes you feel better. And so I want to be able to like make an amazing ice cream shop, and like the branding be like, no matter who you are, once you walk through those doors, you are welcomed here. You know? So that's my thing.
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh man, it like juggles around, but like this is gonna sound, I mean, probably not strange to you because you're a chef, but like I love corn flavored ice creams.
Oh, you would love this. So great choice. So my family's from the Midwest, right? And my mom grew up on a farm, and like we do like a corn roast every September.
Oh, cool.
And when I lived in when I lived in Seattle,
Yeah.
my family came to visit me around that time, so corn was in season, and I was working at a restaurant in Seattle, and the pastry chef, who was amazing, I love her to this day. Hi, Brittany, I miss you. She like was told that, or I told them that my parents were coming, so they made like special things for the menu for my family. And she made a roasted corn ice cream with caramel popcorn. It was insane. It was so good, and if you liked corn ice cream, I think you would have loved it. But you know,
that sounds awesome.
That's not weird to me at all, because corn is like basically it's like a starch, so like it works really well with sugar and with cream. So
good.
Yeah.
And like I also this is gonna sound really weird and kind of nerdy lame.
Okay.
But as an adult, I realized everybody like is into collecting something, right? Whether they like to admit it or not. And I realized I'm just like, I'm boring. I don't collect anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to start collecting something. And then I realized, and then I started collecting enamel pins.
What are those?
They're just like those metal pins that you wear.
Got it.
You know?
Like a Pokemon badge.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And what's your favorite one you have?
Oh man, it's really hard.
It's like choosing a baby.
It is, because the thing is, it's like enamel pins, like they're really cute. I like collect the cute ones, or like I collect like a cool looking one. But I think right now my most recent purchase is actually a paper boat.
Okay.
And I really like that because it's actually my logo.
Okay.
So like my personal like brand and logo and whatnot, I created like a long time ago, was a paper boat. And so for the first, I was just like perusing this like store, and then I saw that and I was like, I need to get that. And so that's my current favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So in your life, you can either go with like, you know, personally or maybe with career, but like what has been some like hardships that you've faced that like you've either, you know, maybe not passed yet, or ones that you like you've jumped over the hurdle and now you've like gone on the other side. But like what are some hurdles in your life?
Man. I feel like a lot.
Well, yeah, I think everyone has a lot, but I love to hear how people get over hardships, because there's hardships. Like I have hardships too. So
Yeah. I think like, well, one of the biggest hardships was like when I went to college, right? And I told you earlier, like I just didn't know what I was doing with my life, and that was really rough.
Yeah.
But I think from there, you know, I was like, I'm gonna be a production major, and then I graduated, and I was just like, I know that if I want to make it, I need to move to LA, because I was living in Florida back then, right? And the job opportunities out here would be so much more. My thing was, I didn't have a place to live, nor did I have a job lined up.
Right. Oh yeah, risky.
Yeah, but I knew I had to do it. And like that scared me a lot, because, you know, there's so much uncertainty, and like I had saved, but like I would only be able to last for like several months, and that's it.
Yeah.
like I had friends out here and whatnot, but like there was just so much that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And like my parents, I'm also the oldest of my generation.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so like there's a lot riding on me, a lot of pressure, and I'm the first American born in my family.
So a lot of expectations.
A lot of expectations, and so I was just like, I can't screw this up, and like it was like a lot of like self pressure, and I was just like, I just got to do it. I just got to take this leap of faith.
Yeah.
And so I moved to California. I had like a freelance gig that I had lined up, and that was it. And then through like the grace of God, my friend let me live with him and his pregnant wife at the time. And they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. It was tiny, and I lived on their living room floor. That was like my area.
Whoa, that's like your Hollywood, like when I made it type of story. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
And like when I think about that time, I'm just like, oh, that is like the wildest, most ballsy thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm like very risk averse,
right.
But like I just did it, and I knew I had to do it because I just felt like I needed to get myself here to LA. And so I like lived on that floor for like months, and like I finished my freelance gig, but I didn't have any other jobs. I was like applying to places, but then I would get turned down like left and right because, you know, you come out of college, you don't have that much experience. And I thought I was like pretty stacked versus like other like college grads. And I was really discouraged, and like I like broke down a lot.
Oh no.
I like cried a lot during that time. I remember there was this specific moment where my friend and his wife, they went on a walk in the park, and it was just me for like a couple hours, and I just like sat in the living room, and I just was just like, Kevin, this sucks. And then I just like broke down crying. I remember it so vividly. And I was just like, I am going to disappoint so many people. I can't move back home without like doing something out here. And then one day I got lunch, and I was eating at a Japanese food court, and I finished my lunch, and I was just like kind of, you know, like those like anime characters where they're just like slumping and they're just like sulking, walking around. That was me. And I was just literally, and for some reason I decided to stop at one part in this food court. And then for some reason too, I was compelled to like look to my left, and I did. And on my left was a community board. And on that community board, there were these flyers for a bunch of things. And one of the flyers was an open room to live in and like rent out. And I was just like, I think I'm gonna do it. And then I called, I saw the place, and I signed the papers that same day.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I finally had my own place because my friend and his wife, they were literally about to have a baby, so I couldn't stay there forever.
Yeah.
And so I found my own place, and then shortly after, I actually I met up with Stephen Lim.
Okay.
So Stephen and I have known each other for a while, and through Jubilee. And so I had bumped into him, and he had asked me how things were going. I was like, it's really rough, man.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I think we're looking for interns right now. You should apply. And so I looked into it, and then I applied, and it was the only thing to have gotten back to me.
Right.
And then I got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then from that point was how I kind of established myself in LA.
Right.
But it was really rough. There was a lot of doubt, a lot of like discouragement, and you know, I just had to like, I think like I'm very blessed to have had like a support system who were there for me, and like my friend and his wife and whatnot, who were like rooting for me, and like, but man, it was rough. It was hard.
Well, like it's really cool that you like powered through it, because I think a lot of people would have given up and gone home, right? And I think a lot of people wouldn't have even had like the courage to come out in the first place, right? So like, but I think you can probably attest to this. Like, I think almost, at least for me, some of like the craziest, most challenging things I do that are the hardest are the ones that end up paying off the most, right? And like, that's obviously what happened here. So yeah,
absolutely.
So, and now I'm actually getting to a point now where I've gotten used to being comfortable, so now I kind of like go towards things that scare me, because I'm like, if I can accomplish another fear, that just like makes me stronger, right? And so now I'm just like F it, I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna like try and do what I want, and it all starts with like taking those first leaps. So
Yeah.
chase your fears, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that because I also realized, like, having lived out here for a few years, I started getting really comfortable.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, wait, like, comfort doesn't bring growth,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I wanted to do something so I could step outside my comfort zone and then just really grow because I felt like I've been kind of like plateauing. And so that's why I decided to like find my own place and whatnot. I was staying at a place for a really long time just out of comfort. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to move. And I want my new place to be a space for people to come over and build community here. And that's like my new adventure, having a space for people just to come and like talk and chill and just, feel like it's a safe space, away from home.
Great. That's what I did here too.
Yeah. It's great. I love it.
It's good to like, it's like when you finally have your own space, it's like you're in control.
Right.
Because when you have roommates, it's really hard to like be like, no, you can't do that. Well, you own it too.
Yeah.
Well, cool. What would you say, like, since you moved here, in what aspect do you think you've grown the most? Do you have like a certain...
Man, I feel like, quite honestly, my time living in LA has been the most growth I've ever done in my life.
Right, wow.
It's like hardcore adulting. Like I know how to do my taxes now.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Like
we're grandpas.
I mean, folks in college will call us grandpas, but we're very young. We are. Like those things, which are very little, but for me, it's going to sound very, very cheesy.
No.
But for me, I feel like the biggest growth that I've experienced since moving here was actually like a lot of self-love and like a lot of confidence in myself, because growing up like in a very predominantly white, very Republican, very conservative, heteronormative area, I never felt like I belonged or like I could have the privilege of being as confident as I could be. And so coming here and then being surrounded by so many different types of people, so many inspirational people, just really like allowed me to like come into my own. And like having worked at BuzzFeed, oh my goodness, like
the people there
like they are beaming with confidence, you've had like Nikki and Jalessa, and they're just like such confident women, and like I like adore them, and I'm so inspired by them, by the things that they do. And when you go into work and you're surrounded by that many like incredibly talented and confident people, you can't help but also drink the same water. And you're just like, wait, I'm here too for a reason. And like, I don't know. I just feel like I never thought I'd be at a place where I can confidently say like I love myself in this way, but I do, and it's great, and I love it, and it really is a game changer. And like, it's very cliche, and like people say it all the time, but like,
but if it's cliche, it means that it's true.
It's so true.
Right.
It really is, and like, it isn't until you find like peace with yourself and love yourself truly and honestly do you really grow so much more in your life.
No, because you're finally like not wasting time with things that don't matter to you and people that are just trying to bring you down. You're finally like
absolutely
on a trajectory in your life where you can focus on self-love and building yourself to basically be, I think honestly, a lot of people always want to become like who they wish they were as a kid, right? So like, I feel like, and then again, as creators, I feel like we want to create content that would have made like our 5-year-old version of ourselves happy.
Absolutely.
I guess, and then in that same vein, we are kind of coming sort of to the end. If a little like 5-year-old Kevin was sitting here and eating the food, A, what would he think of the food? And B, what would you tell him to like let him know about his future?
Well, to answer your first part of the question, 5-year-old Kevin like was very picky about the things he ate.
Oh.
And he also didn't eat a lot. And so like he would not eat this at all.
Too much.
But he loved French fries, which I love French fries. And so he would take this and he would eat it, but he would nibble on it for probably an hour and then only get to like 1/8 of this.
Oh wow.
And that's it.
Wow.
So that's
small stomach.
Yeah, but it expanded.
Yeah.
What would I tell him now? I think about that often, actually. And I actually think if I could tell my 5-year-old self, I would just tell him like, you can be whatever you want to be, and it'll be okay.
Right.
And that like, you know who you are, and like one day, you're gonna be proud of that, and people are gonna love you for that.
Oh.
And that's why I would tell him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because like, especially, because when you're a kid, like all that, like the future seems so, like impossible, and you think all adults know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I've learned is that like adults don't know shit. Like they're just they're flustering too. So like, yeah, that's a great thing to tell your younger self. It's just like, you'll be fine. People
You
like
will
you.
be fine.
Yeah.
You know, like you're gonna go through some shit, right? Like everybody does, but you will make it out, and you will grow from it. Yeah.
Well, little Kevin, I'm glad you enjoyed your one little French fry.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's great. Words of wisdom. Now, so this is the official DinnerViews guest book, okay? And before you leave, you're gonna like sign it, and what you're gonna do is write a question for the next guest.
Oh, okay.
So it's like keeps going.
That's
and
cool.
Then because of that, our previous guest, Jess Maroney, do you know Jess Maroney?
Yes, I've talked to her a couple times.
Yeah, she's like, bring me vegan, very eccentric.
Yes.
So she has a question for you, okay?
Okay.
And her question is, I'm gonna read it in like everything she wrote, okay? Because it's not just a question.
Okay.
This is Jess. She says, do you dream in first person or third person? For example, when I say picture yourself on a beach, do you see the beach or do you see a version of you walking on the beach? Booyah, booyah. In parentheses, I encourage you and everyone else to ride a bike. That's
Wait,
Jess.
what?
She wants people to be healthy and preserve the environment.
Oh, I thought it was like throwing like some judgment on me because
No,
I can't ride bike.
No, she means for everyone to like not use cars.
Okay. I actually can't ride a bike.
Oh.
So that's a fun fact.
Oh, what is it? Like what about riding a bike? Just like, oh, you haven't...
Oh, no, like I actually don't know how to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Not
okay.
like I had a traumatic experience, well, kind of. But like, I mean, I just don't know how to ride a bike.
Wow.
Yeah, I can swim though.
There you go. Yeah,
I can do
one of
that.
them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you dream in first person or third person?
Oh my gosh.
Like, do you see your hands?
Yeah.
Or do you see, like, you doing things?
You know what's weird is that it's both.
Okay.
You know, like, I will start off a dream sometimes, like, being first person. And then, like, midway through or at some point, like, I become third person. And, like,
Right.
I almost see myself, but then I see everything else.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. I had a dream. I actually had a dream yesterday. It was very scary.
Oh.
It's because I watched Sabrina right before bed.
That'll do it to you.
And I told myself, I'm like, Kevin, don't do this to yourself. You know how you are.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did it anyways because I couldn't resist.
It gets really good towards the end.
Yeah, I just finished like episode 3 of season 2. So
Oh, okay. Wait,
I'm
and
just
season 2 gets even better.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But I was just like, okay. But it was really scary. It was like us, like the tethers and stuff.
Yeah.
And essentially, it was like my family. It was my family and I, and like down this like dark basement was my mom's tether, and like she like somehow came up and like kidnapped my siblings, and it was up to my mom and I to rescue them. Hey, that's a movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, really.
Jordan Peele, hit me up, please. I need a job.
Us too.
Yeah, us too, but with my family.
Yeah.
But no, it was like very scary because it started off with me being first person, but then I realized at some point, like as I was like going down this like tunnel thingy, I became third person, and like I saw like me and then my mom and like other things around me, and so often that happens in my dreams. So
Fascinating.
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I asked her, I'm like, Jess, is there like a reasoning behind either? And is there a reason why you're asking? She's like, I don't know. So
It's a very interesting question. It's a good one.
yeah, I think a mix, especially for you, who's like very cinematic and like directory, like that's kind of how a lot of like film is. You're always switching perspectives. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so before you leave, you're gonna write down a question for someone else. So kind of think of some things. And the guest next week is Alex Traeger.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could ask her.
Okay.
And then, so that's basically the dinner view. It's like the last type of stuff I like to say is, hopefully, if people lasted the whole hour, they've been sitting with us, and they've been hopefully, like, maybe they're cooking at home, or they're like about to fall asleep and listening. But what would you say to everyone
who hung out with us?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining and listening to me talk and like aggressively munch on my food for the past like hour. Yeah, you all are great, and continue to follow Matt and what he's doing, because he's gonna do great things.
Well, thanks, Kevin, as well. Like, follow him on Instagram, Kevin J. Nguyen _. Haha. And then for Twitter, no underscore. And I'm sure you have a lot of like things in the works, so things are gonna come out soon, which is exciting.
Hopefully, cross your fingers, send good vibes that I have something soon. There's some cool things in development, so we'll see where that leads me.
Amazing. DinnerViews now has a Patreon, and that's a place where if you want to submit actual like video questions asking our guests your question, you can actually be featured in the interview itself. And then I'm gonna put up like all like the bloopers from people on the Patreon, any extra like bonus clips, so like all the funny moments that we cut out might go there.
Oh, you never told me that.
Shh. It's just for the Patreon members.
Okay.
And then so thanks for listening. We'll see you next week with Alex, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Of course.
I will definitely keep you.
Good.